Hi class, in lesson 3.7 we will be looking at improper fractions and mixed numbers. Learning targets for today: we will create models to represent mixed numbers, and we will write mixed numbers as improper fractions and improper fractions as mixed numbers. Key terms to look for today will be mixed number and improper fraction. In problem number 1 on page 178, we will be looking at fractions that are greater than 1. Number 1 says a recipe calls for 3 1/8 cups of flour, 1 1/2 cups of salt, and 1/8 cup of vegetable oil. What do you notice about the fractions shown? Go ahead and answer that with your group members to get started. Two of the fractions have a whole number and a fraction, while one of the fractions is just a fraction alone. So hopefully that's what you noticed about the three fractions that were listed. A number such as 3 1/8 is called a mixed number because it has a whole number part, the 3, and a fraction part, the 1/8. A fraction like 25/8 is an improper fraction because it is a fraction whose numerator is greater than the denominator. Number 2 tells us to complete the table shown by writing a mixed number, a fraction sentence, or an improper fraction. You can use the example above to see what the fraction sentences look like when you are writing one for either a mixed number or an improper fraction. So complete the table with your group members. For our first example, we should have 2 1/4 for our mixed number and 9/4 as our improper fraction. Second example, 3 2/5 as our mixed number, and I should have 5/5 plus 5/5 plus 5/5 plus 2/5 for my fraction sentence. My third example, 3/3 plus 3/3 plus 2/3 for my fraction sentence and 8/3 for my improper fraction. My fourth example, 3 5/8 for my mixed number, 8/8 plus 8/8 plus 8/8 plus 5/8 for my fraction sentence. Next example, 4 3/7 for my mixed number and 31/7 for my improper fraction. 3 1/6 for the mixed number for the next example, 6/6 plus 6/6 plus 6/6 plus 1/6 for my fraction sentence. And finally, for my last example, I have 2 halves plus 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 1/2 for my fraction sentence and 11 halves for my improper fraction. At the top of page 179, Dontrell noticed a strategy for changing an improper fraction to a mixed number. He said if I divide the denominator into the numerator, I get the whole number part of the mixed number. That's going to be 2. Then the remainder is the numerator of the fractional part of the mixed number. That's going to be 3. And finally, you are going to keep the same denominator. That's going to be 4. So in Dontrell's case, he used traditional division in order to convert an improper fraction into a mixed number. Number 4 tells us to write each improper fraction as a mixed number. If necessary, simplify the fractional part of the mixed number. So go ahead and do letters A through H with your group members. For letter A, we should have 4 1/6, B 2 4/9, C 8 2/5, D 4 6/7, E 4 1/4 after you simplify, F 8 2/5 after you simplify, G will be 11 1/4, and H will be 9 1/3. Number 5 tells us to determine the mixed number and improper fraction for each point that is plotted on the number line. What I would like you to do when writing out your mixed number and improper fraction is to use eighths for your denominator. So go ahead and do number 5 with your group members. For letter A, the mixed number should be 1 1/2, the improper fraction 3 halves. Letter B, mixed number 2 1/8, improper fraction 9/4. Letter C, mixed number 2 7/8, improper fraction 23/8. Letter D, mixed number 3 3/4, improper fraction 15/4. Letter E, mixed number 4 3/8, improper fraction 35/8. Letter F, mixed number 5 1/8, improper fraction 41/8. And for letter G, mixed number 5 7/8 and the improper fraction 47/8. Number 6 at the top of page 180 tells us first to estimate each sum using what you know about benchmark fractions. Remember that benchmark fractions that we have worked with earlier in this chapter are 0, 1/2, and 1. After we are done estimating, then we want to calculate the sum and finally write each sum as a mixed number in simplest form. All I want you to do is letters A through C for number 6 with your group members. Our estimate for letter A is going to be right around 1, in between 1 and 2, if we remember from our lesson 3.6 with adding and subtracting with fractions. We need to have a common denominator. So we are going to get 17/12. We turn that improper fraction into a mixed number and we get 1 5/12. For letter B, the estimate is going to be right around 2. 1 17/24 is going to be our answer. And for letter C, again, the estimate is almost going to be 2, 1 11/18 for our mixed number. At the top of page 181, Dontrell wondered now if he could use his method backward to change a mixed number to an improper fraction. He wrote down the steps shown to convert 2 3/5 and 3 4/7 to improper fractions. So Dontrell is explaining if he's going to multiply the whole number by the denominator and then add the numerator of the fraction, he's going to get the numerator of the improper fraction. And then finally he will need to keep the denominator the same to complete the improper fraction. So let's look at 2 3/5. We have 2 times 5, which is going to give you 10. 10 plus the 3 gives you 13 for your numerator. 5 is your denominator, it stays the same, so 13/5 is your improper fraction. For 3 4/7, 3 times 7 gives you 21. 21 plus 4 gives you 25. Your denominator stays the same. 25/7 for your improper fraction. Number 8 at the bottom of page 181 tells us to write each mixed number as an improper fraction and, if necessary, simplify the improper fraction. Do letters A through F with your group members. Letter A, 17/5, B, 37/8, C, 17/7, D, 27/5, E, 25/3, and F, 56/9. We are going to stop here for the first part of lesson 3.7 on improper fractions and mixed numbers. Please let me know if you have any questions on converting. Thanks.